We have estimated all the possible prices at all the different market caps encircling supply that we could hit when the van runs out of steam in anticipation of the burn, which is set to be enacted and executed in a few weeks. As a result, Terra and the Classic will have to pay an exorbitant amount. What's more important is that it makes us wonder when the ban will be lifted and how much burn we may expect when the 1.2% banning mechanism is in place. We should begin immediately. Presumably, this strategy will remain in place until the total supply hits 10 billion lunar classic, after which the prohibition will be instituted. When that occurs, the entire supply becomes locked and cannot be altered. People usually mean 10 billion Terra and conventional tokens in circulation when they say the ban will be released. Now we can calculate how much 10 billion Luther Classic units would cost in Terra. With a market capitalization of less than $10 million, it's easy to see how the various prices can be determined by dividing the total supply of 10 billion by the market capitalization. 10 times what it is currently, or 1/10 of a penny, would be the price. In addition, with the current market cap of $70 billion, it's clear that if we maintain the current market cap but reduce the supply to 10 billion, we'd be at 7 cents, which translates to a 700x return on investment. If we raise it to $100 million, as you can see, you will receive $100 million, 100 in action, 100 in investment, or $1, that's what you'll get. Prior to achieving a market cap of $1 billion. We have numerous objectives. This is simple mathematical underpinnings. We can definitely get to $1 with a market cap of $10 billion. Before the steep decline in value, Terribly Classic's market cap was $10 billion. Now, as I mentioned, we're talking about 100,000 to 1 million times our original investment. Market capitalizations of this kind are similarly high. As previously mentioned, the likelihood of BNB debating the market value of really large blockchains is low at the moment. Also, you can see that we're approaching an era of record high market capitalization for Bitcoin right now. Because of this, I believe it is unlikely that they are worthy of consideration in situations like these. Although I don't think we'll be able to reach the 10 billion level, I do think it's possible to accomplish some of these cost goals. However, ridiculously high price goals aren't. I think it's far more reasonable to aim for the 10 cent if we finish burning and lower the burn to 10 billion. From our present rental rate of $6.5 trillion to $10 billion is a considerable distance, and will we really be able to cut our burn to this level? It's just $1 per penny. Aside from that, you may recall from my previous videos that the burn does not follow a straight line. Unfortunately, we can't simply do that. Everyone knows that as the price of Terra Classic rises, more people can afford to subscribe at that price point, so it's important to maintain a constant burn rate. When the circulating supply declines, we can achieve a constant burn rate of 100, 1 million, or 4 trillion tokens simply by maintaining a consistent daily transaction volume. For a Classic, the price per stream is $1 up to $10. It is reasonable to assume that a burn is not a straight line because, for instance, a daily transaction volume of $100 million will now be able to buy back and burn 1.2% less tokens than it could before. With the transaction volume kept constant, the slope of this curve-shaped graph indicates the amount of burn. The burn rate at the present price will be determined by other variables such as price movements, the daily volume of transactions relative to the price, and so on. We will use the current price of RATs in conjunction with the daily transaction volume to calculate the mass burn rate of tokens in the first few weeks to months. This will place our current rate of circulation at $100 million per day, give or take. We should have 10 to 12 billion tokens available for burning at today's pricing, considering the increase in cost from our original estimates. Furthermore, yearly token generation will reach 5.2 trillion at this rate. We would have to buy more tokens after a year because their price would have gone up. It would take a long time with the current pace of transactions. In my opinion, it would take 3 to 5 years to deplete the token supply down below 1 trillion every month, or 485 billion in a single day, with daily price increases of no more than 5 to 10%. Possible and acceptable price increases range from 0.5% to 1%. But as we've mentioned in a number of videos, I think FOMO will set in big time when the burn happens. That is to say, I would not allow myself to be rattled by such little transaction quantities. Our price soared when the burn was simply hinted at, and this happened multiple times before, the most notable of which was when our daily transaction volume was approximately $1.2 billion. Considering the daily transaction volume of $1 billion, we can observe that we would be expending 145 billion tokens every day, or approximately 120, given the current pricing is slightly lower than when we calculated these figures. This equates to 4.35 trillion tokens per month. We can't just destroy 52.2 trillion tokens, you're presumably thinking. The concept that fewer tokens will be available due to a higher token price comes into play here. The burning of tokens becomes so evident that you wouldn't dare, would you? This is the outcome if the token ban were maintained and the lease price stayed the same, which of course will never happen since as we burn more buyers, the demand for tokens increases, driving up in their price. If demand stays the same, I'm worried the price will go up because the burn will start going crazy and won't stop. Despite the possibility of a 1.2 trillion% decline in supply, a daily transaction volume of $1 billion appears to be a fair objective for a couple of weeks. Once the first billion are gone, the rate of consumption should level off and finally establish a stable equilibrium. The daily price might not be 2x, 3x, 5x, or very high, and there might not be a big blow-off peak either. Conversely, we can keep the fire going for a long period thanks to the $1 billion in daily trade volume. This has happened countless times, long after the initial Classics fanfare had calmed down to an acceptable level. All it takes is a daily transaction volume in the $2–3 billion range for the price to have a noticeable effect on the circulating supply. I think we can get these results presently with no problem at all. We must also pay, as I have always indicated. Keep in mind that this is presuming nothing changes with the market cap. I believe that in order to achieve some of these higher price targets, we need to see an increase in the market cap as well as a decrease in the circulating supply. My best guess is that it wouldn't. To get things done again, the price will grow to the point where you won't be able to make it. But I'm willing to bet that Terra Luna Classic will sell 10 million copies. That's an incredibly tough undertaking in my opinion. Buying and burning 1.2% of the token supply made a significant dent. This needs to be redone.